I didn't mean to do that.
Please tell me you're saving all these for Blue for real.
Yes. That was not intentional. That was just me coming up with weird combinations, and that happened to be one of the combinations.
You should just start. It can only go downhill from here.
Welcome to the College After Show. I'm your host, Will, back here with Kara. She's actually here this time, not kind of ghost here, as in we tried to record and then things didn't work and then she wasn't there, but I was referring to stuff like she was there.
Technically, you're here because you're at my place.
That is true.
So,
traveling back after spring break. Obviously, her spring break was a week before that.
it made me sad.
So, coming back after this, one thing we wanted to talk about was, what were we going to talk about?
Balance.
Okay, so balancing work, whether that be schoolwork or job work or both, whatever, and the gym. Mm-hmm. So, should I start on a high note or should I start on a low note?
I think high notes are always good. We don't want to turn them off.
Okay, so let's start on a high note. You have a lot of time. You don't think you do, but you do. Alright? 24 hours in a day. Now, some people who have been highly successful in the world of physical fitness, I will not name them, have claimed that 6 hours is all you need.
I disagree.
Well,
it's all I get, but I need more.
I agree and I disagree. I agree if you are an athlete in an untested sport taking extracurriculars. Because the main purpose for an athlete for sleeping is recovery and your testosterone cycles, and there's a lot of sciencey stuff to it. But basically...
Gosh, you're making me tired talking about sleep.
Anyways.
Long day.
It has been a long day. But basically, if you don't sleep enough, or if you sleep less, you have less testosterone produced. Because testosterone is produced when you sleep, yada, 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 yeah. So if you are taking extracurriculars, that doesn't matter as much. So you can actually sacrifice a little bit of sleep. If you are not, if you are a natural athlete, then you need 8 hours of sleep. Well, between 7 and 9. That's kind of your range. Wherever you fall. I tend to be more towards the 8.5 side.
Maybe average.
Average. As far as what I need, she is more towards the 7.
Because I'm special.
So it really just depends on you, on your life, how stressed out you are, and managing your stress through different practices, whether that be you do yoga or some sort of meditation, can also help out with needing less sleep because you're not wearing yourself down as much.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I always find the mistake people make when they're trying to balance is they think sleep is the less important of everything they have to do.
Don't think that. Stop that. I see you out there doing that. Stop that.
I've been there. I've done that. And that was mainly when I was trying to be stubborn in high school, because when I finally got my freedom to choose my own bedtime, I was like, I'm going to be cool. I'm going to stay up to midnight because I can now.
And 2 weeks later?
Crash and burn.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he has to return the camera back on.
The camera's still on. It's just the monitor to make sure everything is still in frame and working kind of fades out.
Yeah, that's true. But the funny thing is, as I've gotten older and wiser, the earlier I can go to bed, the happier of a person that I am, because I'm a morning person, so when I'm trying to make sure that I have enough sleep to do everything and to balance everything, if I'm not in bed by 10 and asleep by 10:30, I'm hurting the next day.
Yeah, it's a real impact on you physically and mentally. I mean, both can suffer. Getting less sleep will help you, the first little bit of your sleep will help you mentally more than physically. No, I have that backwards. Sorry, excuse me. The first little bit will help you more physically, the second little bit will help you mentally.
There's actually this really interesting thing, and I wish I had looked it up before we did this, but as far as when you're taking naps in the middle of the day, certain amounts of naps correlate to doing better at mathematics, creativity.
Oh.
Unfortunately, now this is the part I do remember, creativity takes the 90-minute long nap.
Yeah, so if you want to be creative and create content, you need sleep.
which he did earlier today. He got back from the gym, passed out on the couch. I mean, like, he was out. I was down doing a ROM one. He had no idea.
Yeah, I think I woke up like halfway once and then I was back out.
It was
No,
really funny.
but sleep is very important. And for those, since we're talking about like work, school, fitness balance going on here,
Mhm.
one of the reasons I hear a lot of people say they stay up late and do work is because that's when they have time. That's when they don't have classes. Usually they don't have any job work going on. You know, no one's going to bother you. Really what I found though, especially as a college student, is that is the time everyone will bother you, is late at night. That's when everyone else is awake. That's when everyone else is doing stuff. And they're like, hey, you want to come over and study? And you don't actually study. You just end up hanging out. And then you're even further behind and you don't have sleep. My recommendation would be go to bed early, get up earlier. Because getting up earlier, if you're a college student, 90% of your friends will still be in bed. And so no one can bother you. You can have 2 hours of just uninterrupted work for school. And just get it all done. Unless you have a morning job, that is the best thing in the world. Just get it done, no one bothers you, and then when they call you and say, hey, you want to come study, and you're not actually going to study, you can go over there and not worry.
It's true. But the other part about balance, besides just sleep, which is obviously really important to make sure you can maintain that balance throughout the day, is understanding that there just is going to be some give and take. Last week, I only worked out 3 times. Reason being, I had to do a day trip, well, it was 2 days, but I had to go to Atlanta for a job interview, which was really exciting. But Wednesday night, I had to do a bunch of stuff to get ready for that. I had to make sure that my resume, my portfolio, and everything was printed out, ready to go. I had to go air up my tires and all that stuff, and I just knew that I couldn't have time to work out on top of that.
Yeah.
And he heard me struggling with this all day, going, should I? Should I not? Should I? Should I not?
And speaking of balance, she was torched from the 2 days before that.
I was. I'm trying to remember. It's been such a ridiculous week. I can't really remember what Monday and Tuesday were, but they were something like ridiculous. And this would have just added on top, and I was like,
Yeah, so she needed to rest.
Yeah.
Going hard all the time is not a good idea. You need some time to relax. You need that yin and yang balance in your life.
And you have to be smart enough to realize which part needs to be the give and which part needs to be the take. Because it doesn't always, I mean, obviously, you prioritize, you figure out what's more important. But the gym is a super, super high priority for me because if I don't work out, I am not a fun person to be around. Sorry.
What?
Yeah. So for me, I have to prioritize that a little bit higher so that I actually cut out schoolwork. And the reason that I wake up earlier, and this is going back to that, I wake up earlier so that I can afford to do that because I know once I go to the gym, I don't want to work after it. And
Yeah.
I don't want to give up going to the gym to do work. So I wake up a little bit earlier. I work better in the morning anyways. And I start working at 7:30. I pretty much work from 7:30 to 4. And then I don't have to worry about it the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I'm able to pretty much maintain normal work hours. And I'm one of the few college kids I know that does that and doesn't actually do anything at home unless it's the weekend.
Yeah, that's really smart. My personal schedule, just to kind of throw out my 2 cents with scheduling.
He does the opposite.
Sort of. So I wake up at around 5:30, and then I'll down some coffee. Depending on my day, some days I'll try to work out at 6 in the morning. Some days I'll wait till 8:30. But I'll down some coffee. I'll do a little bit of meditation to kind of clean the slate, and then I'll go into either working out or just some light work, some stuff that I know I gotta get to. I know I'm going to avoid it for the rest of the day if I don't do it now, and then I'll go to the gym. Or go to the gym first, and immediately when I get home, I'll take care of that.
It's kind of nice to always have those like few small things in your day that need to get done. They're not a big deal. They don't take much time, but
Yeah.
something you can just like immediately get into doing when you wake up because it gets you into that productive mode. I know a lot of people that I'm a lister for sure.
Little wins, people, little wins.
Little wins, but I know people that are listers and the first thing on their list is make your bed. You make your bed, you accomplish something, you check it off, and you already have something on the list you've done, and it kind of gives you that momentum to go the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And if you're able to keep that momentum, it's less of a chance that you're going to even have to take away from something else you want to do.
I completely agree. And on the making the bed thing, I'm someone who fought this for my entire life. And I was the guy who was like, I'm messy, but I'm organized. You know where it all is. What I have had to admit in the past year and a half is the more organized my external environments, the more organized my head is, and the more productive I am. So guys, if you're out there, I know it's probably guys, cave in, just do it. Make your bed, make sure your room is clean, and you will get a lot more done.
Honestly, thankfully, you can only see like this back wall because it's a nice, clean environment. If you were able to see anything that way, it is like the biggest mess, and it stresses me out.
Yeah.
The best part of because I'm in a project-oriented major, which means I have to spread out everything. That whole table over there is samples for said projects. And it's my favorite part of a project when it slows down enough where I can clean up my apartment and just have like an organized blank slate around me, and it's not a distraction.
All right, second part to work-life balance. We kind of have a theme of, we didn't plan this is just happening, of creating more time for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have a clean environment, you get more done in a short amount of time, so you have more time. All right, you can try to use those 16 hours you have. So you sleep 8 on average. And on average, you got 16 hours to do stuff. All right? So.
Good math. Sorry. I was just double checking, making sure that was right.
All right, so you're getting stuff done. All right? Couple things. Coffee. Drink coffee. I went a little crazy.
Such a coffee addict.
I went a little crazy. I went off it this past week for spring break, but drink coffee. It'll help.
Okay, so this is what happens with
Drink bulletproof coffee. It really helps. Not bulletproof the brand. I'm talking like coconut oil in the coffee.
Yeah, it's a thing you can make. You can find recipes on it. Not that you really need it, but
and get a
two
blender.
ingredients.
Get a blender. It will make it so much better.
But don't blend it when it's hot. Right? Isn't that the thing?
Well, you got to be careful with it. I've kind of like mastered the, it's cooled down for this long, and I can just screw the magic bullet top on, throw it in real quick, pull it off, and you twist it off real fast. And I know like the right amount of time and temperature to do it. It took a lot of trial and error though. I had a lot of explosions all over the kitchen.
I can testify to this because there was one day that he was 30 minutes late to meeting me at the gym.
Okay.
Because his coffee exploded.
Okay, this is a terrible day. Getting sidetracked, but who cares? Did that. It exploded everywhere. Like it was shooting out the top of the magic bullet thing with the blade. It was shooting out of that.
That's not good.
I took it off. I was leaving, and I was still half asleep. This is like 5 in the morning. And I have all this stuff on because I got to go to work afterwards, so I got backpack with clothes and gym bag and all this. And I spilled my coffee on my way out the door. So it was a rough day.
It was. But yeah, so this is what happens with him. He's doing okay. He's like, 1 cup a day, we're good. But somewhere gets to a busy part, goes to 2 cups a day, and we're like completely addicted, can't operate without it anymore. And so then it's like, all right, we're good. The week's cooled down, new week, cold turkey. And the operation just isn't there. That was this week.
I have extreme ends to the way I balance things. I'm not like perfectly in the middle. I'm just running back and forth fast enough that it doesn't tip. So, anyways.
That analogy.
That's my life. There's a beam, here's the thing, there's the beam, and I'm just running back and forth so fast it can't tip.
This is not the kind of balance we're striving for, folks.
No, be a little bit healthier than me. So, but have coffee, meditate to just clear the mind, and what was I going to say next?
I don't know. This is your head, not mine.
I completely forgot the whole little thing that we went off on. Anyway, so we're talking about balancing your life. You gotta help me.
Oh, I have to help you.
Yeah.
Well, were you looking for like a new point, or were you still trying to figure out?
No, I was trying to go to a new point.
Oh, new point. You know, I actually had one a second ago.
We are professionals.
Well, we are. We just have a lot of fun with what we do, and all of a sudden get really sidetracked.
We do, but it's for you guys. But anyway, so you wake up, you get your stuff done. Gym time. Gym time. We all love gym time. But don't spend an eternity in the gym. If you're there, if you don't work there, and you're not having to train with someone else as part of the team, you should not be in the gym for 3 hours.
Yeah, my cutoff's 2.
Unless you're a bodybuilder, then, I mean, obviously you got to accumulate some other stuff. But if you're a CrossFit athlete or any type of performance athlete, I mean, you look at the data from, and I know people like to hate on Westside nowadays, but look at the data from Westside. They don't take workouts past 45 minutes because serum testosterone levels drop after 45 minutes. So, and this is on guys who, for the most part, are probably on stuff, right?
Well, I don't know.
Like, these are world record guys squatting 1,000 pounds. Most likely. And a couple guys like Mark Bell, who trained there for a long time, have come out with it, so. But serum testosterone levels drop after 45 minutes. So if you're in the gym for 2 hours, you might want to cut it back a little bit.
I can't. The first hours of CrossFit Metcon.
Yeah. And this is, what I'm talking about is 45 minutes of constant work.
Yeah, that's
You come in, you hit a quick warm-up, you start hitting some weights, you start doing some accessory work, and you're out. That's, the 45 minutes I'm talking about. 45 minutes of work.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, the important part to me is understanding when something needs to cut back.
Yeah.
Like, if the time you spend in the gym is affecting too much your sleep or your home life time, I mean, I don't actually have a lot of time at home, and that's my choice, and I can do that because I'm essentially a single student at the moment.
Yeah.
So I come home, cook dinner, get all cleaned up and ready for bed, and then we talk on Skype for about an hour.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much that, and waking up in the morning and getting ready and making breakfast is the only time I'm in my house the entire weekdays. But I'm okay with that. Now, if you have a family, you want to be a little bit more cognizant of where you spend the time, what's important to you. And on top of that, just how does your body feel right now? You have to see, okay, I'm training to the point where I'm really tired in school and I don't always concentrate, or at work and I'm not always being able to focus on what I need to do. A lot of balance, unfortunately, isn't the fun part, and that's probably the more negative side effect is we have all these things we want to do, and there's a reason the phrase not enough hours in the day exists. It's because we have so much we want to do and you just physically can't. And you have to be smart enough to take a step back and not be egotistical about it and think that you can be the weird person that can actually handle all this stuff.
Yeah, it's one of these things where, a lot of us would love to, just do everything at once. And you sort of can. You just progress slower. You're going to progress faster if you drop everything and you work out 3 times a day, 45-minute segments, allow yourself to recover and come back up, and then go back into a workout. And that's fine, and I'm not one of those people who says, well, if I could work out that much all day, then I would be that good too. No, you wouldn't. But there is that thing of, it's called a professional athlete for a reason. They train, they practice, and that's their job. That's what consumes their life, and that also helps them be able to improve more quickly. Mm-hmm. You can still improve, and you can still improve at a pretty good rate, doing a lot of other stuff too at the same time. You just gotta, line up your priorities.
Mm-hmm. And if you do decide that's something that you're really interested in, like for me, that is a priority. I want to be able to get to the level of a regional athlete. Obviously, I have quite a ways to go and a lot of growth to do, but that's why I made the decision where my home time is almost non-existent. My social life, it doesn't exist. But social life isn't what's most important to me right now. It's training and it's my schoolwork and this guy right here, who I obviously make time for. I mean, I have people that I make time for. But just if you decide you want to do that, my advice to you would be don't all of a sudden go from 0 to 60. Don't jump your training up to that level just immediately. Start adding on maybe 20 minutes at a time so that you can make sure that you're adjusting other parts of your life accordingly, so that you all of a sudden aren't going from I have all the free time in the world to nothing, and that can be really stressful.
Oh yeah, and check off the low-hanging fruit. If you're sitting there and you're like, I want to compete in Olympic weightlifting, so I've got to, spend 2 more hours in the gym a day. Whatever. But if you're pretty new, or if you're older than the age of 35 and you're just trying to start this, it would probably be a good idea to just first work on mobility. Like, be able to actually get in the positions and then start throwing in all the volume and the extra stuff.
Oh, guys, mobility killed me today. I had none.
Yeah, also, if you're in a situation like the two of us the past couple days, or the past week, sitting in cars all the time, focus on mobility coming back out of this break, because it was bad.
I unfortunately don't do a lot of mobility, and honestly, that's the part that suffers for me, because the time that I probably would be doing that is honestly the time I'm on Skype with him. I'm okay with that. I do enough in the gym that I'm not going to hurt myself. But I know, and we've already discussed this, like, once we're married and it calms down to the fact we're not blocking out a specific amount of time to Skype, and we can just chill and do mobility together, and it's completely fine. You can't really do that on a computer screen. I think we tried once and it didn't go well.
Yeah.
So,
And we're not being weird about it. It's just the opportunity is there. It's not like we're just going to come home and immediately sit on a crossball. We're not being weird, but don't get to be that guy who's like, no, guys, I mean, I can't go out tonight. I gotta go home and I gotta foam roll for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, don't be that guy. Don't be the guy who's walking around, and I'm sort of guilty of this, but these were my early days. I was foolish. Just walk around the lacrosse ball, sit down, just start rolling out, smashing the bottom of your foot.
did you do that?
I did it.
Oh,
I
God.
brought it to the library at UWF and studied while smashing my foot. I shouldn't have done it. I'm admitting it now. If you have been in the same situation, please don't do it again.
Oh,
'Cause
no.
I won't.
That's one thing, because if you're trying to get bang for your buck time-wise, and you can do that by rolling out the bottom of your feet while you read a book and study,
Okay, if your
that's
feet-
one thing. If you bring it to the bar with your friends, that's another.
True, okay. If your feet are brutal and you have no time because it's finals week, okay.
And then you probably need to be, like, mobilizing while you work anyways, because that just makes you, like...
But if you and your family are going out to dinner, don't. Alright? And another thing, college kids. I know we can get obsessive about things. And I know most of y'all this won't apply to. But, this won't apply to you.
Oh, okay.
But...
Well, you said obsessive, and I just kind of...
if it's Friday night and your buddies want to watch movies and they
that's not
offer you nachos, eat the stupid nachos. Like, be polite. Don't be the guy. I think I remember hearing Jason Khalipa talking about, like, eat birthday cake at your daughter's birthday party.
Okay.
All right? Don't be weird.
Yeah. No, that's true, because, I mean, like, I turn down food, like...
And Power Athlete Radio has a lot of hilarious stuff on that. Just check them out. Sorry. I had to throw that in there.
Well, I work just on campus, and especially at the end of the year, teachers will be like, I brought donuts in for my class, we have leftovers. Here! And, those I'm like, that's fine, I'm good, all the rest of my coworkers had them or whatever. But when I'm over at a friend's house or, we're going out to dinner, I might eat as clean as possible, but I'm not going to beat myself up or go starve because they don't have anything 100% paleo on the menu.
Yeah, this is about balance. Like, you get your 90% of meals, and just like, they're meal prepped, they're portioned out, they're macroed out, they're paleo, whatever you want to do, your keto, whatever. Alright? But don't be rude to people for the sake of your diet.
And to be completely honest, if it makes you feel better, working out and weightlifting is one of the biggest metabolism boosters you can get. So if you get to a point where you're like as fit as, you probably are or we are, it's like, that's not going to kill you as much as somebody that lies on the couch all the time.
Yeah. And I usually wake up, if I restrict myself to one cheat meal a week, I wake up leaner afterwards. So there's some incentive right there.
He eats a freaking hamburger and milkshake and wakes up. He's like, I'm 3 pounds lighter.
Yeah, it's...
I was 1.
But also, I've done the thing where I did Smolov, and I was so beat up I would come home, crush 2 hot dogs, and a third of a box of Oreos.
And I would hear from him for an hour.
Yeah, I would pass out.
Plus.
So, and again, work-life balance. Overtraining, as far as we're going to define it here, is training past your ability to recover for the next workout.
That's a really good way to describe it.
So if you're squatting, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, if you squat Monday and you feel like a wreck and you can't finish your work on Tuesday or any of the other days, you're overtrained. It's too much. You need to be able to recover and come back up, because here's what you can do. You can either go along and drop and then kind of, like a roller coaster. Just slowly get pulled up and then drop again. Or you can just drop a little bit, be like a kiddie ride. Just, kind of go down and up, down. Yep, that's how you want to do it. Because then if you drop all the way down, and let's say you can only train once a week, like doing the leg day bodybuilder thing, well, you're losing out on a lot of volume and frequency over the week, month, year. And so you could actually be shortchanging yourself. And it's probably not good to plummet yourself that much anyways.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my coaches about this actually just last week because we were talking about the dip program I've been doing. And I've been doing it 5 days a week. But I did the same program with pull-ups. And I found the same thing to be true of both. About when I hit the mark where 7 is the max, I can't finish all of my sets that week unbroken and for the following week. So once I hit that point, I dropped down from doing 5 days a week to doing 3 days a week, just like a 5x5.
Yeah.
And that was his suggestion as well, saying that 5 days is just too much. Your triceps are just going to be absolutely gone. And
Triceps. Oh, you're doing the dips.
The dips right now, yeah, not the pull-ups. And, you know, it was true. It was getting to the point where it was starting to hurt more than it helped. And I'm okay with it hurting my workouts a little bit because my strength gain is a little bit more of my focus right now.
Yeah.
But it was becoming too constant to the point where I know that I need to back it down.
And when you're throwing programs like that, you gotta remember, there's a lot more musculature, a lot more spanning. So you got the bicep, you got your shoulders, you got your upper back, you got your lats that span your entire back in a pull-up. A dip, you don't have that much. So when you throw something like that to, you know, you have to be conscious of moving stuff to smaller muscle groups if you're weak in one area, and you might need to back it off because there's not as much there, so the load is spread over such a small area, you're going to get beat up more.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying it. I know, like, specifically for me, I'm a volume responder big time because the first gym I was ever at was such a huge freaking volume gym. It's not even funny how big, like, all the workouts were chippers, and they all had, like, 50 movements in each.
Yeah, so she got stuck in this where she needed that volume because that's just what her body adapted to.
But even me, like, you just need to be smart enough to listen to your body and realize if something's not work, tweak it. Tweak it back, even if you think it's going to hurt you. In the long run, it's probably going to help.
But don't tweak it too much.
It's just be in tune with your body. I know that sounds really kind of like...
It's very zen.
But it is really important as an athlete to be in tune with your body and to listen to what it is telling you and to not be stubborn about it and to try and go past your limits and accomplish everything. Because in the end, it's not going to help as much as you think it will.
Yeah, if your elbow's like twice the normal size, stop. Change something. That's not tinkering too much. That's not going in there and messing around with, well, move this percentage to this day and that. No, if your elbow's blown up, just stop.
Yeah.
Do something else.
Is there anything else?
Anything else?
Do we want to talk about 16.4 at all? You did not get the beauty of experience.
No, I did not. I squatted instead. For the first time in a year, I squatted in flat shoes, not Olympic shoes.
And he's just sitting over here the whole time. This feels so weird. But it's a good thing if you can train yourself out of Olympic lifters, in all honesty.
Well, I actually felt like I was in more of a powerlifting position. I noticed I got a little wider than usual. The way my hips and my torso interacted, it was a little bit different. It was kind of cool.
It's very empowering when you're like, I did something without equipment that's used to aid you get a higher number or something. Like, I got really, really excited the other week. We were doing a 3-rep max or something on back squat, and normally when I hit 100 pounds or more, the knee sleeves come on just automatically. And I just completely forgotten about that element. I hadn't even grabbed them out of my gym bag. And I finished a set at 135, which actually ties my previous 3-rep max, but I moved it faster. And then I was walking around a few minutes later and noticed, I'm not wearing knee sleeves. I was like, yes!
Yeah, I mean, you can get dependent on stuff. I like to wear stuff on my wrist because I'm not very forearm muscular. But I'm going to start working on that just because I'm honestly getting a little tired of wearing wrist wraps all the time and having to, or else my wrists hurt for the next week. Mm-hmm. So
I'm like off wrist wraps for a while after that 16.1 ordeal.
Yeah, she got like a blood clot in the back of her hands.
No, it was really ugly. It was like standing up above my hand. It was because I'd done the burpees with them on, and I did need it for the overhead walking lunges, I would say. But then they were so tight when I did the burpees and putting all my weight on this direction, and I just shoved it into my hand. It was just not a good thing. They were a little tingly afterwards.
So play around with stuff that you don't normally do with less equipment. Maybe more equipment. Maybe try that. Just change stuff up sometimes.
I used more equipment today. Not ashamed of it. We had a deadlift, and he gave me a belt
like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, because it was for not my last birthday, but the birthday before that when I turned 21. And I never used the thing. I think I tried it once on a squat and I was like, hey, I don't like this. But we were doing 16.4 and 155 on a deadlift is 40 pounds below my max, and we were having to do it for 55 reps. And my hips were just so tight that my form was already a little bit off. I was like,
Your buddy said,
picking up.
her left hip would come up first, then her right hip.
Yeah, just trying to like counteract for how tight they were. And it was causing my back to twinge a little bit when I was warming up, and I was concerned about this. And my friend put on his I'm like, oh, that might actually be smart. And he was like, no, seriously, you need to go get yours, and you need to wear it because it's going to make a huge difference. I'm like, oh, might as well. It's been sitting in my gym bag forever. And my back didn't hurt once. My form was pretty good until I got 40. It started to break down, and when it hit like 50, it was gone. But I needed to get 5 more reps out, so I just dropped to a lot lower on the sets.
Yeah, so play around with different ideas. I mean, do not be the person who jumps around from program to program. You know, stick with something, but I mean, play a little bit. I mean, I went in there today. I wasn't going to do that workout. I knew I was too tight and too beat up. I was like, you know what? I haven't done this for a while. Let's play around with it. I literally just threw on a 45, so 135, and then just started throwing on 10s. It's like, how does this feel? You know, just worked up to mediumly heavyweight, I guess you could say. Not really that heavy, but I was just like, okay, let's do a bunch of singles, just building up and see how it feels. So that is it for this week. Please check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the website, sealiftershow.com.
Make sure you're also checking out the vlogs. Those are a lot of fun.
They are. I am starting to do them a little bit more. I do have one that will be coming out, which is me getting lost in fog while running.
Oh, no.
Yeah, by the way, never run 100-meter sprints all out and then go run a 5K.
In fog. In a neighborhood you're not completely familiar with.
In a city you're not familiar with.
I was a little bit mad at him when I found about it this later.
Yeah, that wasn't good. Anyways, so we'll see y'all later.
Bye.